Welcome back to another Graymason Gaming video diary of Neptune's Pride, the 64-man ultra version of the game. As you can see here, we have just kicked off the latest game. I am using my actual name as Graymason, and I'm spawning down in the southeast quadrant. I look like a slug. So um, this this game has quite a few players from prior games that I know. Um, Most notably, the player to my south, I just played a game with him. He was, I'm not Bob, so I assume his name is Bob. Um, Tinfoil I've played in a few games with, but never been allied with yet. Dex Jackson, I did play against. He is an old school player, been around the game a very long time, old enough to get a few of these toxic badges, very competent. I'm excited to play and spawn near him and hopefully partner with him. He actually sent me a message within 15 minutes of the game spawning, so we'll see if we can make some magic happen. To my north are a bunch of names I don't know. Um, we'll see how that turns out. So my knee-jerk reaction here is make alliances down here, push to the north. I think that makes the most sense. After Dex, there really isn't anyone of significance that I know their names, that I know of who they are. So maybe we go the three of us. I don't know. With Tinfoil and Dex, we get a three-man going. That's a possibility. Um, Having just two people is probably not the greatest move, but three is a good number. So maybe we kill off Bob because he's just in the corner and then push out. We'll see. Anyway, hopefully this turns into a good game. Some of the other names out there that you may be looking for. Rubik is sitting over here, I think, in the corner. Um, I just played a game with DeWash. I know uh, Dr. Gert. Just played a game with him. His alliance killed me in a game not that long ago. He's a very strong player. We have Yurkwan, who I played with. The Jewish Star Empire's up here. I'm sad I'm not closer. I have a longer story about him, but I won't be able to get into it in this video. I know Slow. I just played against him. Let's see. Nat 20 is Press the Attack from one of my earlier victory games. He was an ally of mine. So where's he at? He's very far away. Okay, well, anyway, so that's another familiar name. And then we have Corporation. Pyro Dre. I actually had a video where he ended up winning the game. He is up in the north here. Phil Bill I played with. Tiernan I played with. He's down here. So yeah, so some names that those that play Neptune's Pride on a regular basis probably have heard of and know. So it'll be a fun game. Hopefully we can get our alliance a victory. Hopefully I can get a victory. Let's see how it pans out. All right, cycle 2 of the game, and a few things transpire that might be of interest. I have got off to a good start, as has my ally Dex Jackson. So we are down here in the corner. So let's talk through what's happening. Dex and Tinfoil and I, so the greens plus me, they're pushing west, and we're finishing off the first victim here, which is just A. He was AFK when the game started, and he's like, oh, we could be allies, but because he got off to such a bad start, and I was friendly with him, he's like, you know what, just take my stars. Super nice. He actually even abandoned one of his stars, and he's throwing them, unfortunately, against my allies. So I did let my allies know that here's what's going on. I don't want them to feel like I'm part of attacking them, but so this will be dealt with very soon. We were able to get experiments, and I procced manufacturing the first 2 days back to back. I'm working on terraforming now. Then the other interesting thing is this Brainiac's above me. I reached out to him, and he's never actually said anything. I was reached out, hey, hello, what's going on? I'm trying to talk to him. He never replied, but what he did do is just start sending me tech. So, early on, he sent me experiments. I sent him money back. He sent me weapons after that procced with his experiments. So I sent him my manufacturing. But he's never actually said anything to me. So I figured I'll keep being kind and sharing tech, um, because it does make sense that we're in range, but we can't attack each other. But when you look at him, he's not a strong player. He's still way far behind in economy. But he's got a lot of science. So I will continue to foster this relationship. I just don't think he's going to survive. Then the more interesting thing in terms of my first real move, right? So we're divvying this up. I've got to move north, and Brainiacs is not going to be a threat, but he's giving me tech, so there's no real reason for me to attack him. Up here, it looks like the Earth Force Alliance and Ramsol are allied. Now, Earth Force thinks they're strong, they're tightly allied, where Ramsol has been a little bit more wishy-washy, saying, yeah, we tentatively agreed. But if I attack Ramsel, certainly they will be united against me. I've reached out to the Space Woman and not gotten a reply back. And Space Woman also a little bit underwhelming in terms of start. So it probably does make sense that we have these two tentatively together and these two maybe. I don't think they're together, but they're independent. So I can pick them off separately. So I think what I need to do is, if I could work with Ramsel, that would be fine. I guess that would be the question. Do I just take him out? Because if I can take him out, then everyone else here falls. And as long as the Cindercats doesn't come down into me, I would be okay. So I reached out to Cindercats to get a sense of what they're doing. So this little section here, that's the politics. That's what I need to figure out next as I finish things off. I've got some decent stars that are nearby, and yeah, I think I'm in pretty good position. Let's see what happens in this little microcosm of politics, and hopefully I can navigate it well enough to get a really strong foothold in the southeast. Cycle 3, nothing significant changed down here in the corner. I'm about to get the home world of A. He's seeded it to me. I might get this one as well, and we'll probably end up divvying these up. I think Dex is going to make out well. What I want to make sure Tinfoil gets some stars out of this whole thing as well. More importantly now is my move north. Um, I've sent more messages to Brainiacs. I actually sent him a tech hoping he'd send me back this Experiments 3, but because he hasn't in 24 hours done anything, I have a feeling that he's not going to be around. And so if I attack Ramsel now, even though I'm slightly ahead, I don't know. I'm torn, and if they're together. So what I think the move now is to go ahead. As much as I hate to do it, I think Brainiacs is the obvious place to go. And if I can coordinate with Ramsel, and ideally if I can partner with Ramsel, I just don't want. I can't have these two partnering together. Um, so if Ramsel attacks Brainiacs with me, and I'm able to get this outer, maybe he gets these two stars and I get the outer group, then I can move up on Space Woman, who also won't respond to me, also not that strong. Um, I don't know, like, okay, so what's Ramsel doing the whole time I'm going up and doing all that? It seems tricky, but I think that's my move. I think that's what I need to do. I'm actually, so I right now I'm about to get no, that's not what I want to show you. I want to get about to get range, before the end of the cycle, range 2, and then I could jump over to this juicy star. So I'll have a decent front, and yeah, but that's my plan now. I think now my plan is, um, this guy's in position in 14 hours. So at the beginning of next cycle, I could start attacking. I'll have range. I can start attacking Brainiac since he's not doing anything. I think that's what I need to do, and but I want to make sure I have Ramsel on board first. Cycle 5, a few things has transpired, mainly which path I take and took. And as it turns out, Brainiacs has continued, although he still owes me thanking. He still has been sending, he did send me experiments, and I've been feeding him tech as well. I launched on Ramsel, and well, I have one large fleet count to deal with. We'll see how this pans out and how attentive he's being. I do have quite a big convoy, another 150, almost 250 fleets heading this way. So I think I will break through. The If I can get the Space Woman and if I can get Brainiacs to also attack Ramsel, he'll crumble. And then I'm trying to offer Earth Force Alliance and Alliance. What I think is the most interesting is dealing with someone like Dex Jackson. I'll just flash up here real quick. We have this coordination thread, and there's a lot of colorful descriptions, and it's actually quite entertaining. But instead of me trying to summarize it, I'm pretty sure he's like from New Zealand or Australia or somewhere in that time zone. Let me, and this is for free, let me give you a highlight, and you tell me what the hell he's talking about. I really don't know half of what he's... Okay, let's listen through his analysis.
Monday, March 25th. At Graymason. Work with Brainiacs. Take down and go through Ramsol. Do you want my in-depth thinking, or do you trust things were put in motion to make this the best play?
I told him I trusted him.
Earth Force Alliance doesn't want to be destroyed like Ramsol. We give him Space Wyman, he'll be fine, that's all he really cares about. He admitted never truly trusted Ramsol. We're using that. Don't worry, I'll keep him on plan.
So I got that
Tuesday, March 26th morning.
Here's where it gets a little wacky.
From Dex's Global WhisperNet, CW Quadrant is getting double teamed in their words from the CNSW.
What the hell's that mean?
Really hope the aftermath of that doesn't become a fucking headache to deal with. I want a smooth, fucking mid-game for us.
I do too.
Tuesday, March 26th evening. At Graymason. Best tactic is to do a slide trick with Ramsol termination.
Okay.
Leapfrog his stars with a convoy like a path, then when your bulk's in optimal position, rip and tear.
Rip and tear. So I'm going to do a convoy slide rip and tear. That's apparently a maneuver I'm not familiar with, so I just fucking attacked him. All right, we're fast forwarding to cycle 8. Between the last video, really not a lot's transpired. I can catch you up. So I've begun to fall a little bit behind, and really because Ramsel has a very nice consolidated formation where I couldn't break through. That's all about to change in the next 24 hours. We're going to progress again. So looking big picture again, I'm not totally out of it, but I've fallen behind for sure. Ramsel's down to 250 fleets to my 880. I couldn't get him up there fast enough, even though I have the most carriers in the game. But as you can see, his 870, they're not going to be able to, I've got 146, 127. I'm breaking through the doors. I'm taking his stuff. And really, things are going to start to change. The other thing that's super important is Brainiacs finally started to attack Ramsel. Still never communicated with me, but Earth Force Alliance researched weapons and then never gave it to Ramsel. So that means Earth Force Alliance is on my team. And so I had put a whole thread together. He said he was. That to me was proof. So my plan now is to take this whole section of stars, give these stars to Earth Force. We'll kind of divvy. I'll get these southern ones. He'll get the northern. So we kind of just divvy this right in half. And then together with Earth Force Alliance, we'll push into Cindercats. And then looking bigger picture, there's an AI. So we just have some weak players. We have an AI that quit. Rubik quit. We have another Ephedril quit. So I'm going to quickly be running into Pyrodre, who's coming down and's got a nice strong alliance up here. You can see they're a little bit further on tech. So he's got a really strong group. And then I'm also going to run into this middle group here, Lady Liliana. So while Tinfoil, who's going to be moving up this chain, and is Dex Jackson, who's finishing off down here, they're going to be working on, I think, killing him off. and working with Captain Morgan. So they're going to be working on this area while I push up there. And so the question, and here's where I get a message from Drex on the plan for the middle. Let me give it to you in his words.
Looks like Lady Liliana is trying to get us before we get her. Guarantee he's allied with Urquan, or at least they've napped. We'll find out. Baby, this bout to be a three-way gangbang.
Okay.
They try and make hard. They might succeed, they're not gonna want that though.
They're not going to want that, though. No, they're not going to want that. They don't want a three-way gangbang. Okay. Thank you, Dex, for your words of wisdom and insights. I appreciate that. So anyway, that's where we stand. Finally going to start making some progress. I should gain some ground on the leaders. We should blow Cindercats out of the water. And so I have been now communicating with both Pyro Dre as well as Prince Griffin here. And we'll see which way I go. But basically, I either want a friendly border in the center or a friendly border to my north. And we just have to see what makes sense when we get there. So that's really the next for me. We're kind of getting out of the corner finally, and into the rest of the world, the rest of the galaxy. Cycle 9. Okay, now we're starting to move. We've finally broken down Ramsel, and he's basically dead. We've broken down Brainiacs. He's on his last leg, and I had a little bit of not a run-in, but we had a conversation with Earth Force Alliance. Basically, at the beginning, I said, here's the distribution. I then proceeded to absorb all of Ramsel's fleets or ships, and then he came in and started like taking all the good stars. And so I'm like, all right. So he ended up getting this Babylon 5 that by all rights was on the path to the north that I said I wanted, and he's going to take this one, which was one I said I wanted. So basically, he's going to kind of sneak away too, and I said, that's fine as long as you build me a warp gate here, which he said he did. And he's like, wow, that's expensive. I'm like, well, you should have given me Babylon 5. Anyway, we're past that, but it's something to work on. He strikes me as a newer player, and looking at, he's played some, but I don't know about how many of these 64-man games, because, 1 or 2 stars doesn't really matter for me or him, but it's just we made an agreement, and then he was opportunistic to take stars that we agreed I would have for himself. So I said, let's not do that for the Cindercats. He's got 23 stars. We're going to hit them together starting pretty much immediately. Let's each get 11, and then whoever doesn't get the core world gets the 12th star. You need to make sure I have a path to the north and that he has a path to the west, because here's the plan. We are up against the central alliance of Prince Griffin and Lady Liliana and Scare. And those three, I actually said they're heading east, and I know these two are. So that's these 3 allies are going to deal with them. I've told them I've been trying to distance myself from Dex because he's been trying to puppet master the whole world. And I'm kind of talking to Lady Liliana as the ringleader. I said, listen, I've actually told both them and Prince, I'm not going to stab him. I'm not going to turn on him, but I don't want to go down with the ship. And if he's going to piss off the universe, then, I'll be busy elsewhere while the whole galaxy kills him for being abrasive. I would rather it just work out, but he's just basically talking to everyone and getting everyone mad. So, that's usually my job. Up north, we have Pyro Dre, who says he's part of a 5-man alliance. That he says he's going down here through the center, and that he's allied with Thomas the Train. No, he's not. With Mr. Lethal Blood, who's going to be going south. So I think this is the person we have to contend with, heading our way. And then I think the Jewish Star Empire, who's really just supplies that economy, is feeding them. And then they're also with Eborg and Vijo, who would then be heading to the west. So, that's a formidable alliance, much more than the center. So that's really the question. And I basically talked to Pyro Dre saying, I voiced some discontent with Dex because Dex said he was talking to Dre and basically told me I shouldn't talk to him. I'm like, bullshit. I'm going north. I'm going to talk to the people I'm going to be running up against. I'm not going to have you be the middleman. And so what I wanted to do though is put a seed that I'm discontent with my alliance, and here's why. I want them to feel like I could flip. I'm not going to flip. I want them to feel like I would. So they basically are not going to just attack me a lot. I want them to feel like we're a shattered alliance, um, to play my odds, because I may need to work with Pyro Dre to push into the center. I may need to work with Prince and Lady Liliana, who, by the way, is like doing great, to push back the Northeast. I don't know who's I'm going to have to deal with, but I want to basically be on good terms with both. Work my way through Cindercats with my new friend Earth Force Alliance. And then once we've gotten through here and we've eaten up as much of the Terran Space Force, of Rubik, and of Ephendrel, once those AIs are gone, we're going to kind of look at the state of the board and see which way do we want to go. I really don't have a preference or know which way is going to make the most sense. I know my alliance is going to be attacking the central group, which is going to probably suck them in. So I probably could push through the center, but I don't want to strengthen the Northeast alliance. So I don't know. So this is where the politics come into play. I have no sense of what's going on in the Northwest, no sense of what's happening in the Southwest. To some degree, I need to figure that out because that's how I'm going to play these other alliances against them and not against us. So that's where we're at. It's starting to get interesting. It was a few days just trying to beat through the stalemate with Ramsel, but now that that's gone, now that we got a warp gate coming up here on Pucks, we're going to be really seeing. You can see I actually basically. Oh yeah, and Brainiac sent me 1,000 gold, so I basically used the money he sent it for Alta Tech. So I feel bad, but thank you for the warp gate infrastructure. I will use your money wisely, much better than you would, and put it to good use. And we're going to be basically pushing through north here. So things are about to get real. I'm trying to keep my options open, but also not be seen as someone who is going to not be trustworthy. Cycle 11, we've been able to make some good progress, as you can see down here. We did break through. We finished off Ramsel. We have one last little Brainiac star here to clean up. And then we were able to, over in the Cindercat block, get a few stars. He sent a bunch over to me that I just blew up, but because I have the good infrastructure, I've got plenty of forces here to deal with Cindercats, wrap up these little clusters, and start to push up here. My ally is doing a nice work. Earth Force Alliance is on track with his plans, and I was able to negotiate with Prince Griffin here to leave. So he should be leaving, and we should take no damages, but I sent enough in case he didn't to secure this sector. There was a little bit of a run-in where I kept telling him, please just attack up north, just attack Terran Space Force, leave these for me. And he said he would come help. I'm like, please, I don't need help. All you're doing is taking the stars in my expansion path. So he begrudgingly left, but he also did not give Cindercats any tech, even though he easily could have given him 2 weapons that would have made this harder. So that is actually a very positive sign. So I'm going to leave it here and not get into the bigger politics. We're going to say the end of video 1 concludes with the Cycle 11. The southeast quadrant is in good shape and secure. This crew's beginning to push out. We're beginning to push out. And now we're about to move into the mid-game. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this, click on the link for the next episode. And don't forget to click subscribe for more content.